Discover how ancient Stoic wisdom can make you magnetic to the one you desire without losing yourself in the process. Cultivate inner peace and watch how it magnetizes others toward you. I remember the exact moment I realized I was living my life in constant emotional chaos. Every external event, a delayed text, a canceled plan, a misunderstood comment would send me spiraling. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This hit me like a lightning bolt. Here's what I learned. When you're at peace with yourself, people can sense it from across the room. It's like you emit this invisible energy that draws others in. I used to think being chill meant being boring, but I was completely wrong. Inner peace isn't indifference. It's confidence in its purest form. Every morning when you wake up, before checking your phone, take 5 deep breaths and remind yourself, I cannot control what happens today, but I can control how I respond. Try this for just 1 week and notice how differently people start reacting to you. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think inner peace means becoming a doormat. Focus relentlessly on self-improvement, not on impressing others. I used to change myself to fit what I thought someone else wanted. If they liked fitness, suddenly I was at the gym. If they were into art, I'd pretend to understand abstract paintings. This approach was exhausting and, frankly, pathetic. The Stoics taught me something revolutionary. Look within. Within is the fountain of good. When I started improving myself for me, not for anyone else, something magical happened. I was genuinely interested in becoming better. I developed real skills, real knowledge, real character. And you know what? That person I was trying to impress started noticing. Pick one skill you've always wanted to develop, not because someone else would find it attractive, but because it genuinely excites you. Commit to spending 30 minutes on it every day for the next month. Watch how this shift in focus transforms your entire energy. Master the art of living in the present moment. I used to live in 2 places, the past where I replayed every mistake and the future where I fantasized about perfect scenarios. I was never actually present with the person I was trying to attract. Epictetus reminded us that there is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. When I finally learned to be fully present in conversations, really listening, really engaging, not planning my next clever response, people started describing me as captivating. It wasn't because I became more entertaining, it was because I became more attentive. In your next conversation with anyone, practice this. Put your phone away, make eye contact, and focus completely on what they're saying. Don't plan your response while they're talking. Just listen. Notice how this changes the quality of your interactions. They communicate from neediness instead of compassion. I used to communicate with an agenda. Every text, every conversation, every interaction was calculated to get something: attention, validation, affection. Marcus Aurelius advised, whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I'm about to criticize? First, this quote changed how I communicated forever. Instead of trying to impress or manipulate, I started communicating with genuine compassion and understanding. I began asking better questions, listening to understand rather than to respond, and showing real interest in their thoughts and feelings. Before your next interaction with your person of interest, ask yourself, how can I make this person feel heard and understood? Focus on giving value to the conversation rather than extracting value from it. Maintain unwavering personal integrity. Seneca wrote, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. I used to compromise my values to avoid conflict or to appear agreeable. This made me forgettable at best and repulsive at worst. People can sense when you're being fake, and it's an immediate turnoff. When I started living according to my core principles, regardless of what others thought, something interesting happened. I became polarizing in the best possible way. The right people were drawn to my authenticity, while the wrong people naturally filtered themselves out. Write down 3 non-negotiable principles you refuse to compromise on. For the next week, make every decision through the filter of these principles. Notice how this affects your confidence and how others perceive you. Exercise gratitude, especially during challenging moments. I used to complain constantly about my situation, about how unfair dating was, about how people didn't appreciate me. Epictetus taught that he is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. This shifted everything. When I started focusing on what I was grateful for instead of what I lacked, my entire energy changed. I stopped radiating desperation and started radiating appreciation. People want to be around grateful people because they make life feel richer and more meaningful. Every night before bed, write down 3 specific things you're grateful for that day. At least one should be related to your personal growth or relationships. Do this for 2 weeks and watch how your perspective and attractiveness transforms. Practice genuine humility without becoming a pushover. I used to think I had to be the smartest, funniest, most accomplished person in the room to be attractive. This led to exhausting performances and shallow connections. Marcus Aurelius wrote, receive without conceit, release without struggle. True humility isn't self-deprecation. It's having an accurate view of yourself. When I stopped trying to prove how amazing amazing I was and started being genuinely curious about others, my relationships deepened dramatically. Humility makes you approachable and trustworthy, two qualities that are irresistibly attractive. In your next conversation, practice asking 3 genuine questions about the other person's experiences, opinions, or feelings. Focus on learning something new about them rather than sharing something impressive about yourself. Understand and apply the dichotomy of control. Epictetus taught that some things are within our control, our actions, thoughts, and choices, while others are not. Other people's feelings, decisions, and responses. I used to waste enormous energy trying to control how others felt about me. This made me anxious, manipulative, and ultimately unattractive. When I finally accepted that I could control my actions, but not their reactions, I found freedom. I could focus on being the best version of myself without being attached to specific outcomes. This paradoxically made me more attractive because I stopped being needy and started being genuinely confident. Before interacting with your person of interest, remind yourself, I can control how I show up, but I cannot control how they respond. My job is to be authentic and kind. Their job is to decide how they feel about it. Appreciate differences instead of trying to eliminate them. I used to see differences as problems to solve. If they liked something I didn't, I'd either pretend to like it or try to convince them they were wrong. Marcus Aurelius advised us to learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. Not all differences matter, and many actually enhance relationships. When I started genuinely appreciating how our differences complemented each other, our connection deepened. Instead of seeing their different perspective as a threat, I saw it as an opportunity to learn and grow. The next time you notice a difference between you and your person of interest, instead of trying to minimize it, ask a curious question about their perspective. Let them teach you something you didn't know. Seek wisdom continuously, not to impress others, but to become someone worth knowing. Marcus Aurelius believed that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. I realized that attraction isn't about tricks or techniques. It's about becoming someone genuinely worth being attracted to. This meant constantly learning, growing, and evolving. The most attractive people I know are those who are always becoming better versions of themselves. They read, they reflect, they challenge their own assumptions, and they grow from their experiences. This commitment to wisdom makes them endlessly interesting and inspiring to be around. Commit to learning something new every day for the next month. It could be reading an article, watching an educational video, or having a deep conversation with someone. Share what you learn with others, not to show off, but to contribute value to their lives. The beautiful irony of Stoic attraction is that the moment you stop desperately needing someone's approval, you become worthy of it. When you focus on what you can control, your character, your growth, your response to life, you naturally become magnetic to the right people. I challenge you to try these principles for the next 30 days. Not as a strategy to get someone, but as a commitment to becoming someone worth getting. Focus on your inner peace, your personal growth, your presence, your compassion, your integrity, your gratitude, your humility, your acceptance of what you cannot control, your appreciation of differences, and your pursuit of wisdom. I promise you this, even if you don't attract that specific person you're thinking about right now, you'll attract something even better: respect for yourself and genuine connections with people who appreciate the real you. And often, that original person you wanted, they'll come around too, drawn to the confident, peaceful, growing person you've become. The Stoics knew that the best way to attract what you want is to become worthy of it. So stop chasing, start growing, and watch how the world, including that special someone, starts chasing you. What are your thoughts on this? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more such content.